$405.
$405 and Libby.
$410.
$410. There are the four bids. The actual retail price is...
Welcome to the first annual Biddy Awards, or as we like to call them, the Biddies. We know you're in the middle of award season. We know you've got the we know you've got on a music awards. We know you've got but we promise we're not like them. We're going to be short and to the point, talking about our favorite music of 2020. Right on your timeline. So, the first category we want to talk about, why don't we have a little fun and talk about our favorite dance song of 2020.
Now, we weren't going to concerts and we weren't going to the clubs and we weren't going to shows, unless you were a lucky person that was doing some of those things. Most of us were dancing in our kitchens and we're dancing in our bedrooms and the shower and in your underwear.
Or in front of these curtains.
Whatever else you're doing, I don't know, that's your business. But we were dancing in our homes for sure to some of these songs.
So here's the nominees, and unfortunately there can only be one favorite, and as hard as it can be to pick, we've got one. So, we've got Own Alone by Bahamas. We've got Golden by Corey Wong. Hey Rose by Sun Little. Rattlesnake Girl by Jamie Wyatt. Strangers by Mount Joy. But our favorite of 2020 dance song was Hot Dog by Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. All right, why do we like it?
We love this song. First of all, it was one of the first songs that we covered in a What We're Listening To episode. And if you don't subscribe to our podcast and listen to us, you probably should. Other than that, I think I danced to it maybe 1 million times in our kitchen during 2020. So it's a favorite for sure.
Congrats, Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats on the Biddies.
Welcome to the next episode of the Biddy Awards. This week we are talking about our favorite songs, our favorite artists, and our favorite albums of 2020. And oh my gosh, what a year 2020 was.
Woo.
I don't have to tell you guys, you all lived it too. And so did these artists that we're going to talk about. In this category, we have our favorite statement song of 2020, and there were a lot of things to talk about. We've got songs covering racial injustices, climate change, and women's empowerment.
Yeah, it's a long list, and unfortunately we can only have one favorite, but we've got some great nominees before that. We've got Yola with Hold On. We've got Camp with Fall, Fall, Fall. We've got The Chicks with March, March. We've got Lake Street Dive, Making Do. Rhiannon Giddens, Don't Call Me Name. Someone Else's Fault by Courtney Marie Andrews. Haven't You Had Quite Enough by Doe Eyes, and Lost Coast and Gary Clark Jr., A Change Is Gonna Come. But, as we said, there can only be one favorite per category. And the winner for 2020 Statement Song of the Year goes to Tyler Childers' Long Violent History. The reason we chose this song is because Tyler Childers released an surprise album in summer of 2020. It was entirely instrumental, except for the title track, which is the last song on the album. That song is a statement about putting yourself in the shoes of a person of color in this country. Thank you, Tyler, and congrats on the Biddy.
Wild speculation, tall tales and hearsay and absolute lies being passed on.
Welcome back to the Biddy Awards. 2020 was a great year for covers. We had a lot to choose from. And there was nothing better in a tough year than having your favorite artist release a cover of one of your favorite songs.
Absolutely.
So why don't you take us through the nominees?
Yes. Our nominees for this category for our favorite cover were Brittany Howard's You'll Never Walk Alone. We also had First Aid Kit with On the Road Again. We had Whitney and Waxahachie covering Take Me Home. We had Gillian Welsh with Jackson. We had Anna Ash with Sister Golden Hair. Julian Taylor with Friend of the Devil. We had Emma Swift with Man and Me, and we had Paul Calthan and Orville Peck covering You've Lost That Lovin' Feelin'. But there can only be one of our favorites, and the winner of this Biddy Award goes to
A Change Is Gonna Come by Lost Coast and Gary Clark Jr. So why did we pick that?
We loved this cover. First of all, 2020 was the perfect time to resurface this song, an original by Sam Cooke. It just was very relevant for the times, and it is what everybody needed to hear. Plus, it was a perfect collaboration between Lost Coast and Gary Clark Jr. We loved this one.
Thanks for the cover, and congrats on the Biddy.
Oh, and just like that river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know the change gon' come. Oh, yes it will.
I have to get another glass of wine after this. This didn't go well.
Welcome back to the Biddy Awards. Welcome back to the next episode of the Biddies. This next category is our favorite surprise of 2020.
I'll give you a hint. It's not the pandemic.
No, musical surprise. So, we had a few albums that were released last year with no warning. One of which being Taylor Swift's Folklore, Childers' Long Violent History, and Sturgill's Cuttin' Grass Volume 1. He later released Volume 2. And our favorite surprise album of the year goes to Sturgill Simpson, Cuttin' Grass, Volume 1.
We loved the surprise. So great from Sturgill Simpson. Personally, we loved hearing bluegrass renditions of some of our favorite Sturgill songs. To hear him completely reinvent some of our favorite songs of his was so reinvigorating. And to hear this album from start to finish was just a musical delight. So thank you very much, Sturgill, for putting this surprise album out. We loved it.
Congrats on the Biddy.
This stage is the way it goes. This day and age. Well, you ain't got to read between the lines, then you just got to turn the page. Well, the most outlaw thing ever done was give a good woman a ring, and that's the way it goes. Life ain't fair and the world is mean.
Welcome back to this episode of The Biddies.
I'm really ready for that one anyways.
Welcome back to this episode of The Biddies. This category is our favorite surprise of 2020. We had a lot to choose from, actually.
It's not the pandemic.
No, that was a surprise. We had...
It's not.
Yeah, do that again, I'll go.
Welcome back to the next episode of The Biddies. For this category, we have our favorite breakout artists. And 2020 was no easy year to be a new artist on the scene.
Nope.
And somehow these folks managed to do it and do it so well. And it goes to show that this is not a small category. We've got a lot of nominees for breakout artists of this year.
Yeah, we've got Julian Taylor, Joy Oladokin, Sean W. Spellman, Woody and Jeremy, Coco Zandy, Ingrid Andress, Doe Eyes, Katie Pruitt, Laura Jean Anderson, Sasha Sloan, Motenko, Joseph the Spouse, and the Sweetwater Warblers.
Woo!
But the winner
There's only one.
for Breakout Artist of 2020 goes to Trey
Burt.
Burt. The reason we picked Trey Burt, because he was signed to Oh Boy Records, John Prine's record label. He was one of the first artists to be signed to it for a number of years. On top of that, he released Caught It From the Rye, which was a fantastic first album. So congrats, Trey Burt, on the Biddy.
Something in you, 'cause it gets dark, and when it's so dark, you're gonna wish for a light or two. No, we don't talk like we used to do in the meadows of our youth, but you're a part of the last good.
Welcome to the next episode of the Biddies. This next category we have is our favorite side project. This is one of my favorite categories because we get to hear all of these different facets from artists that we love. They get to be creative, make music in potentially different genres that we've never heard from them before. So this is a really fun one for us to explore, and we've got a lot of great nominees in this category.
Yeah, the nominees for favorite side project of 2020 are Bonnie Light Horseman, Joseph the Spouse, Josh Teskey, Coco Zandy, Sean W. Spellman, Theo Katzman, The Fearless Flyers, and Corey Wong. But the winner for favorite side project of 2020 goes to Sumbuck.
We loved this side project of Taylor Meyer, who does the lead vocals of one of our favorite bands, Camp. He absolutely crushed it with the release this year, or last year rather, of Oh Sweet Cafe Racer. We loved this side project, Sumbuck. Keep hitting us with more.
Congrats, Sumbuck, on the Biddy.
I'm chasing ahead, got me swinging from the rafters. I'm swinging from the rafters, yeah. And there you are.
What am I supposed to say?
Welcome back to the first annual Biddy Awards. We're at the point in our program where Courtney and I both get to pick our favorite albums and songs of 2020, and guess what? We each get to make a pick. So, I get to go first and pick my favorite song of 2020. I had a lot of great music to choose from, and as I said earlier, if you release a song or an album in 2020, that's commendable. It was not great conditions to be doing so. So, some nominees for my favorite song of 2020. Part Wolf by John Craigie. Get the Old Band Back Together by Christian Lee Hudson. I Remember Everything by John Prine. Summer Girl by Haim. Vaping on the Job by Dougie Poole. The Ridge by Julian Taylor. What Good by Trey Burt. Rattlesnake Girl by Jamie Wyatt. But the winner And my favorite for Song of the Year 2020 goes to Run It by My Morning Jacket. I picked Run It because it's already been one of my favorite songs to listen to in 2021, and that's continued since the album came out mid-2020. What a fantastic release on the Waterfall 2, and that was a surprise release we've been waiting for years for them to release. So thanks, My Morning Jacket, and congrats on the Biddy.
Can't try much harder, get back water, get back harder, get back to water.
Welcome back to the next episode of the Biddies. This category is favorite surprise. Now, there are a few artists that dropped some albums on us that we had no idea were coming. Welcome back to the first annual Biddy Awards. This episode, I'm gonna cover my favorite song of 2020. And Nick got to pick his already, so it is my turn. There was so much great music this year. I had such a hard time choosing my favorite. You know I listened to all of these songs on repeat all of 2020, and I will continue to do so in 2021 as well. So here are some of my favorite songs from last year. We had Don't Ask by John Craigie. We had Dandelion by The Carolina Story. Problem Solution by White Buffalo. The Rock Dock by Fruit Bats. Stranger by Mount Joy. If I Told by Courtney Marie Andrew. Keep 'Em on They Toes by Brent Cobb. Hey Rose by Sun Little. And Love is a Fire by Brandy Clark. Those were all so good, and I had such a hard time choosing, but there can obviously only be one winner. And so, the winner of my favorite song of 2020 is Waste of Lime by Ingrid Andress. This song just captured who I am, I feel like. I'm a tequila lover, and I just really like this song. I had it on repeat all of 2020. It's a jam. Also, Ingrid is awesome, and if she's listening to this, I'd love to be your best friend, so call me.
Not only was it a statement song, but not only was it a statement song, Welcome back for the last segment of the first annual Biddy Awards. We've gotten a lot of music covered this week, but the last thing that we have to cover is Album of 2020, and we each get to make our favorite pick.
Woo!
We had a lot of great music released, from Dawes to Jason Isbell to Sturgill Simpson to Maggie Rogers to Phoebe Bridgers, Christian Lee Hudson, Courtney Marie Andrews, David Ramirez, Lone Bella, Ray LaMontagne. The list goes on and on and on. I know we're forgetting someone.
There were so many.
There's
yeah.
a lot. That's how great of a year it was. But I'll go first. And my favorite album, I don't even need this, forget that, was Jamie Wyatt's Neon Cross. What an album.
Great album.
It was exactly what I needed in 2020. It had statement songs about LGBTQ. It had a dance song in Rattlesnake Girl. It had an awesome title track in Neon Cross. Thank you, Jamie, for releasing such an awesome album. I can't wait to see what you release next.
Amazing. Well, I had a different pick for my favorite album of 2020, and even though Nick threw away my notes, I'm not going to forget it. John Craigie, your album Asterisk the Universe was my absolute favorite. Even though he's not a new artist, he was new to me in 2020, and Asterisk the Universe was on repeat all year. From Part Wolf to Don't Ask, I will continue to listen to those songs through 2021. I cannot wait to see what he puts out next.
Oh, such a good album. All right, well, that concludes our show. Thanks for tuning in. We hope that you heard the music that you wanted to this week. And you know what? There's a lot of other stuff that we didn't cover that we didn't get time to. We spent all last year going through on our weekly show what we're listening to, all the best new music that we could find. So we hope that you're enjoying as we go along this journey, try and make music fun and shine a light on the artists and music that we really love.
Absolutely.
So we hope you follow us, and we'll see you next year on the Biddies for 2021.
All right.
Bye.